Peter, good morning. We have some data to present with respect to your JCM 2000 and how she's been behaving. So let's get her off of the protective circuit. That was that little light bulb you saw there. So just keep in mind that I've removed the phase inverter tube, which is going to effectively split the preamp from the power amp. So any noise you're hearing now will be specific to the power amp. So keep that in mind. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're sitting at 117 wall volts today. Your plate voltage is stabilizing around 470 volts DC. But as you can see clearly, there's big trouble in Little China. This is not a very visible pointer, but I have the lights out just so I could observe any red plating should it present itself. You have 43 milliamps being drawn by the unhappy pair here, and then 25 milliamps being drawn by the other guys. If I'll put her closer to the speaker, you could hear a solid 120 hum frequency there coming through. And is part of it due to the fact that, yeah, there's an imbalance in the push-pull configuration, that there's no canceling of noise at the power amp? Yeah, that's possible, but that's not really what we're hearing. Unfortunately, these tubes are roasted. And it's a shame because these particular tubes are my favorite brand of power tube. When it comes to EL34s and 6L6s in particular, the old Svetlanas are just fantastic tubes. But I've just seen something that I've dimmed the lights, and it's sort of revealing another indication outside of the very obvious markings left by the prior tech or whoever has a sense of humor. But aside from the fact that these tubes are audibly defective, listen to that. Take a listen. Let me switch hands here so I can get you closer to the speaker. Try to listen. You shouldn't hear any of that. So these tubes are done. I have my tube tester is coming out of hiding in the next 2 weeks, but I don't need that to justify saying you need a new quad here. I will go through the rest of the amp and make sure that, electronically speaking, there's nothing else down the road or coming around the corner. Maybe you'll want to consider refreshing your preamp tubes. They're a little noisy. They're not bad. And this is more of a mechanical inspection, save for the fact that I've got some gear hooked up. So I'll conclude this video so I can wrap up. But yeah, unfortunately, you're going to need a new quad. I carry JJs because with the way the market was going, I just thought it was more economically feasible for you guys for me to carry like a lower price tube. That does sound really good as well. But people have preferences. I totally get it. I'm a guitarist as well. So let me know what you want to do, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. So your power tubes are holding steady at bias around 65% max plate dissipation on these JJ EL34s. There is a slight hum persisting that I don't like. There is some mechanical vibration emanating from the power transformer. Could that be transduced through the chassis and then ending up as a signal on the output? Sure. But maybe not in this case. We're staring at your phase inverter tube. This is V4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And taking measurements, here's what I'm noticing. Now, let's look at the plate supply. Little pop there. All right. So now let's check the other one. Now bear in mind the preamp is unloaded, so the voltages are gonna appear higher than they will be once there's tubes drawing it down. Now let's check out the other one. So that's not good. That would lead me to believe we have an open plate resistor on your phase inverter power supply. But let's take a peek on the other side and I'll update you soon. Pete, I found it, buddy. All right, there's your phase inverter socket. And I've identified, this is a little power rail on this end of these resistors. Let me get in there. This, and look at that, a little scorch mark, a little carbonara down there, huh? This is your 100K plate lead. This is your 82K plate lead. And that's the one that's doing it. I'll set up the camera real quick and then show you the test. But I think I can get my iron in there without without any funny business. Actually, I have an idea even if that doesn't work. So anyway, we always go with plan A, right? All right, let me stitch this together. I think this is a better angle to explain what's going on with your amp. So we're looking at the phase inverter socket here. Pins 1 and directly across pin 6. These are the plate pins. This is where your tube is essentially receiving power. Now connected to those are plate load resistors. So let's see what's going on. And I had noted earlier that when I was doing the voltage check along this socket, that something didn't seem quite right. So let's find out what's up. Let's see. Just for edification, because I can't show you the screen of my meter, when there's a connection across a resistor, you'll hear that noise. Okay, when there's no connection, there's no noise. And also there'll be a reading, obviously. So this is where these resistors are receiving power along this end. Let's check this 100K resistor here. Let's just check from this end to the socket. So, all right, that's 100K. Now let's check this end to socket number 6. And it's completely open. It's completely open. Now let's see if it's connected on the other side, and it should be. Whoop, there it is. So obviously this lead is still attached and connected to this socket pin there, so that makes sense. Let's see what we're getting here. We're getting absolutely nothing, so there we go, buddy. And thankfully, I don't have to take this part of the board out. This would be the main board. And before I let her go, I'll superheat the board and see if it becomes conductive, because that's typically what happens on some of these earlier revisions. And we'll just take it from there. Take care.